Hello guys, thanks for joining me.
Hey, hi.
So my first question would be, so you both have been involved with Pixar for many years and many projects now, but Turning Red felt really stylistically and comedically and thematically different from the other Pixar movies. So I wonder, is that something you were aiming for?
Definitely. I also feel like every Pixar film is a reflection of the director too. And since this is my first time directing a film, it's probably going to feel different than any other Pixar film that came before it. But yeah, like when we first approached the style of the movie, we really wanted it to feel different, unique. We wanted it to stand out. We really wanted it to feel as bold and colorful as our protagonist in the movie. And a term we used a lot in production was Asian tween fever dream. And how do we achieve that look and that feeling? Like how do we make the audience feel what Mei is feeling at any given moment? Like when she's really embarrassed, how do we push the lighting and the animation to really reflect that emotion? And how do we just make the world just feel as like fresh and vibrant and youthful as her? So that was kind of what we were operating.
Well, as for the boldness, I need to say that I agree, because in terms of the themes, as I've mentioned, because usually Pixar movies deal with like these larger than life topics, I would say, whereas your movie was really down to earth. So I wonder, how did you come up with the story? Was the initial pitch the big red bear, or was it the metaphor for coming of age of the main character somehow?
It was both.
It was
in
both.
The initial pitch.
Yeah.
Both of those things were there. I think with, I think you're right though. It's interesting you say it that way. I think there was something about the time and the main character's life dictate the stakes and dictate the realism of the world. Yes, there is a giant red panda. So there is a fantastical, magical element to it, but certainly I think that there is a simplicity to the storytelling that allows us to really focus on the relationships and the emotions that are going through this with the main character that I think is really great. I think it's like we had, versions of like, what do they care about the most, or what should be the driving stakes? And it was like, what feels like life and death when you're 13 is going to a concert. Like, are we going to go to the concert? And yeah, it feels like a small stakes to us now. It's like, is that enough to drive a movie? And it's like, yeah, it is, because it matters more than anything else to these girls. So I think there was a real a brave choice to keep it small, if you will, and to keep it kind of relatable and real, so that you could really invest in what it felt like day to day for these girls going through this moment in their lives,
So are the younger teenage girls like the ideal target audience that you've intended the messages of the movie for? Because obviously all the Pixar movies and even your movie is for everyone. Everyone finds something in it. But what was the ideal viewer of your movie in your mind?
Yeah, I mean, the ideal viewer was 13-year-old me growing up and dealing with all of these changes to my body, to my relationships, to my emotions. But it's at the end of the day a universal story. And I think like just from making it and seeing how excited the crew was to work on it, to contribute to it, like a lot of the crew, like they were never 13-year-old Asian tween girls, but they could connect with her struggle of going through puberty, because like we all experienced that awkwardness and that embarrassment, of our parents showing up to school randomly, of our crush finding out that we like them. I think like there are so many universal themes in this movie that it can appeal to everybody, but at the same time, it introduces that in like a very specific way that like just makes it very interesting. I think that makes audiences kind of lean in and go, wow, like I've never been taken into an Asian tween fever dream. This is amazing. This is really cool and interesting and new and exciting. So
Okay, thank you for your time and congratulations on the movie.
Thank you.